able to see my screen.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. In the yesterday's class, I had a discussion about how the HTTP servlet will works. It's almost just to be whenever we seen it's almost just like to be working just like a normal generic servlet. So I didn't find any difference here. So we'll see some little bit more difference how HTTP servlet behaves than the normal generic servlet. How it is specific for only HTTP protocol. Okay. So first we'll see with the basic example. Here what I'm doing is I'm having one login.xml HTML file. In this HTML file, I'm trying to pass one request. Okay, I'm passing some parameters. I'm nothing but username and password, and click on submit. While submitting, I'm passing with a get method. Okay, and here just I'm trying to call the service method and displaying some message saying like you're successfully logged in. Okay, let us see this works fine or not. Yeah, it started. Let me go back here and start with one dot what's our HTML name, login.html. So I have started and giving some parameters, username and password, and click on submit button. So it's displaying some message, you're successfully logged in. Yeah, this is an expected message. It has to call the service method, and whatever the data is present, has to display the same UI. Then actually to speak, I'm passing the request by using the get method. So is there any possibility for me to display only in the get method area? Or if I'm passing the post method, is there any possibility for me to display my thing in post area? Yes, do have such. So there are some methods like do get and do post in HTTP servlet. Those are just like a service method. Okay, those are just like a service method. Depending upon the method that you're sending, it is going to call accordingly. So I'm putting it like this, and yes, and this for get method and this for post method. So when we see our requested here, we are sending get method. So which method has to get executed for me now? It has to execute do get method. Okay, let me stop the server and start once again. Okay, let me go to the browser and give the URL with login.html, provide some values here, click on submit. If you observe here clearly, which method is getting called now?
Get.
Get method.
That do
Yeah.
get method.
Yes. So whenever I'm sending the parameters, I mean method as get method, so it's going to call do get method. Okay, let us see. We'll do one thing. We'll try to change the method to a post method, as these are the credentials. That is active about username and password, so those are sensitive. So I'm going to send in post method, and as this is an HTML file, no need to restart the server. Click on enter. Then let us see the view page source whether it got changed. Yes, now it is a post. Okay, now give the values, click on submit. Oh, now I'm calling do post method. So that is a main advantage for me whenever I'm using the HTTP solidity here. Okay, so internally what exactly been things are been happening. So how the internal things are been happening, that is simple. In the HTTP servlet, first it is going to call the service method only. Okay, in HTTP servlet is going to call the service method only, but inside the service method again it is going to check for the which kind of method that you are using. Okay, accordingly it is going to call the do get method or do post method. Okay, for them it is going to pass the request and response. Okay, let us see. If you want, you can see the code also. In general, by default it has to call always the service method, right? Why it is calling the do get or do post, it's like, different than, right? So let us see. So this is the HTTP servlet source code. Trying to look for service method. So if you observe clearly, this is the normal service method. Normal service method means the service method which is present in just like a servlet. How I'm saying as like that, because if you observe the interface are here, servlet request and servlet response. These are the normal ones. Okay, whenever it comes here in general, again it is going to call the another service method with and it is going to pass the request and response. What is this another service? If you see the another service method, see this is another service method and it is accepting HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response. So they're converting everything, means normal servlet to HTTP servlet, and normal servlet request to HTTP servlet request, and normal HTTP response to a normal HTTP servlet response. Like that they're converting everything because we're going to get some special benefits from these servlets. Okay, so that's the reason that they're just doing the typecasting internally. Okay, first normal service method will be get called, and that normal service method is going to call the HTTP service method. Okay, this is called HTTP service method. Okay, now this HTTP service method, if you observe clearly, inside we have, oops, okay, inside we have written the code in such a way like method equals method get. If that is the case, call the do get method and pass the request and response. Okay, or else if the method is post method, then call the do post method. I mean, pass the request to the request and response to the do post method. Or if it is a method delete method, means call the do delete. And if it is a options method, call the do options. It is a trace method, do trace method. Anyway, these are not been supporting by any of the servers. It's like waste. Only the do post and do get are the important ones that we need to remember here. Okay, but still they were like, providing these features. That's it. Okay, HTTP is already providing these features. Okay, but the servers are not providing the implementation for this. Means servers may not support. Okay. Okay, guys, got an idea like how the HTTP servlet behaves than the normal generic servlet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay then. Okay, great. So I will stop the servlets here. Let's move towards the JSP. Okay, while discussing about the JSP, we'll start. I mean, in between, wherever it is required, I will start discuss about the servlets also. Okay,
Okay.
let us see the JSPs. What is the full form of JSP? Java Server Pages. Okay, JSP is also called as Java Server Pages. What is this JSP? JSP is nothing but indirectly it is a servlet. Okay, whenever you're writing some JSP internally, again it is going to get converted as a JSP servlet only. Okay, I will show you how it is going to convert that servlet, and I will show you everything. Okay, don't worry. Okay, so this JSP is having some elements. Okay, I mean each and every one that we are going to deal according to the elements. Okay, first one is template text. Okay, second one is scriptlet. Third one is JSP Declarations. Fourth one is JSP Directives. And fifth one is JSP Expressions. And sixth one is JSP Action Tags. Okay, and next one is JSP Custom Tags. Okay, and last one is JSP EL. Okay, Expression Language. Okay, okay, these are the main JSP elements that we're going to discuss from now onwards about each and every one. Okay, template text, scriptlet, JSP declarations and directives, expressions, action tags, custom tags, and JSP expression language. Okay, all these just we're going to discuss about. I mean, I'll start discuss about each and every one. Okay, we'll start with some simple JSP with some template text. Okay, first one we'll start with the template text. So here in this case, actually, I'm not using any server. Sorry, I'm not using any server of an Eclipse. I'm just going to start my manual server. Go to my computer. There, I'll find my Apache Tomcat, and so this is called as a Catalina home, right? Here we're having the bin, conf, lib, call logs, temp, and web apps. So web apps is the place where we're going to have all the projects. Okay. Okay, can do one thing. I can use this project servlet. Okay. So this is my project that I'm going to use here. Servlet project. Inside the servlet project, let me try to remove all these. Okay, I'm only having the one web-inf, and inside the web-inf I'm having the lib and classes. So I'm not even caring about all this. Just let me try to remove. So these are the three main ones. It has to be present inside the webmass. One is the classes, nothing but dot bytecodes, and then lib, which is having the jar files, and web.xml. It's also called as a deployment descriptor. This is called, like, when when the user is requesting for any servlet and all. Okay, now, so uh, how I'm going to declare a JSP file. Okay, um, let me try to do some cleaning also at here. Yes, I have removed completely. Okay, now let me go inside my project called servlet. So now here I'm going to create my first servlet, first JSP. Just right click, new notepad. See, I'm texting one extends with JSP. That's it. So my JSP is created now. Okay, and now let me try to open this in Notepad++, and I will start with the template text. Hello JSP. This is my template text I'm trying to print. Okay. So now what I need to do before that, I need to start my server first. Okay. Let me start startup.bat file. So my server is started. So here my project name is servlet only, and my file name is JSP file name is 1.jsp. JSPs are just like an HTML files only. Okay, JSPs are just like an HTML files only. See here, let me try to click on enter. Hey, whatever the text message I have entered there, it is coming. Okay, so JSPs almost just behave like a HTML files, because in HTML files just try to open one HTML file and try to add some text and try to display it by using server. Yes, it is going to display accordingly. I mean, whatever you have written there, right? It's also behaving the same. See, and this is called as a template text. Means you're not using any text, just like writing some text message. That's it. Okay, so writing some text message. That's it. Okay, if you have written like that, then that is called as a template text. Okay, template text. Template text is nothing but whenever you're going to write some raw, I mean whenever you're writing some text message, okay, raw text message, then that is called as a template text. So whatever you have written, that will be get displayed in the UI. Now from starting I'm trying to say, um, JSPs are just like a servlets, nothing but JSPs are indirectly servlets, like how I'm saying, right? So first let's go to the project and see this is what my 1.jsp, right? Now go back to web apps and go back to the Catalina home. See here, there is a work folder. Go inside the work folder. There is a project called servlet. Just it is nothing but it's copied here. Okay. Go inside the servlet. Again, there is our Apache JSP something it did. Hey, I'm having the two classes at here. One is one underscore JSP dot class, and another one is one underscore JSP dot Java file. Okay. So this is, let us see, try to open this. Okay. So this is my one underscore JSP, and this extending some this is extending some servlet. Okay, HTTP JSP base, it's nothing but a, it's also a HTTP servlet, but it's JSP specific one. It is implemented the generic servlet and it made it. Okay, let us, it is also having some methods like init method. Okay, destroy method, and then service method. Okay, here it is implementing the init method. Which kind of init method it is? First init method or second init method?
First.
Yari, first or second?
Oh, second, sorry, second.
It's the second init method, right? First one is nothing but which is having the arguments one, right?
Arguments,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the second.
So now, okay, these are maybe you're thinking like why they were appending underscore JSP for destroy for init, like see, it is JSP servlet. Okay, this is also servlet only, but indirectly we are calling the servlet. Okay, indirectly it is going to call normal init and normal service and normal destroy methods only. But here this is JSP specific methods. I mean JSP specific ones, so they can return accordingly. No need to say like you have to call service method like that. Okay, they will do some internal operation to convert this servlet into according to a HTTP servlet. Okay, So now see here, see this is the service method. Okay, and let me try to see my message at here. If am I having any message here? Yes, whatever the text I have written, are you able to see here?
Uh-huh.
See what I have
Yeah.
written there, hello JSP, right? So
Yeah.
what it did, it entered into the service method. Okay, first it converted that first it converted the normal JSP into a servlet. Okay, and inside the servlet service method, okay, it created one print writer object. Okay, it created one print writer object, and by using writer object write method, inside the write method is trying to place my text message. So that is the
Mhm.
reason that you can able to see message here directly. Okay, so in the JSPs, whatever the message, okay, whatever the message that you are going to write, okay, it will be get entered into a out dot write method. Okay, out dot write method. If you have any doubts, let us do one thing. Let us try to hit one second. See, these are the JSPs. JSPs don't requires a server restart. Okay, if it is a Java file, you should restart the server if you change any Java file. As this is a JSP file, okay, no need to do the restarts. Okay,
Okay.
now let me go to the location and see the Java file and try to search for my service method. Yeah, here this is service method and try to search for. See, I have entered some dummy text that is also been entered inside a out dot write method. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, this is how it is dealing with the template texts. Okay, this is how it is dealing with the template texts. Means whatever you have written there in the plain text, that will be just copied inside a out dot write method of a service method. Okay, it will come inside the
Mhm.
service method and it is going to write in a out dot write method. Okay, out dot write method is just like a print writer method we have seen, right, in the last class service. Print writer object, it's also just the same like only. Okay, so when whatever it has written inside the write method, it is going to just display in a browser. Okay, now you got an idea like how it works.
Yeah, I am just wondering what is this all extra code?
So this is the one, right? See, now we had a discussion about like many elements are been present na, in JSP. Many elements are there, right? One is a scriptlet, declarations, custom tags, all these things. So in order to support all these, it is going to write this much piece of code. Okay.
Mhm.
Now you may not understand all these things, but while going through, you can get to know like okay, this is the purpose of this. This is the purpose of that, like that. Okay.
Okay.
And then let us move to the another example. Okay, this is for template text, and then next one is scriptlet. Okay, next one is scriptlet. So what is a scriptlet? Scriptlet is nothing but you have to declare the scriptlet as like this. Means
Mhm.
okay, you have to declare as like this. Okay, inside of this you need to write some piece of code, whatever it is. For example, right now I'm trying to write some scriptlet. Okay, and I'm declaring some variables int I is equal to 10, int j is equal to 20, then int k is equal to I plus j. I'm writing some piece of code for integers for addition, and after that I have written some sysouts. So let us see how this one behaves now. Okay, as this is a JSP file, no need of a server restart. Let me go to the UI and just click on enter with this URL. Okay, now we got a template text. After that, whichever the thing that you have written inside the scriptlet, we didn't get that, right?
Mm.
See, whatever the system.out.println I have written there, generally it will come in a server console. Okay, whenever if you are trying to write some sysouts, it will be generally comes in a server console. Okay, see whatever I have entered scriptlet, so it is coming at here, and then let us see the piece of code how it is converting the servlet. So this is the converted file. Start this and go to the service method, and see here what it did. What it did,
Mm. It got easier.
it just pasted in a service method, that's it. Okay, see whenever I'm writing some template text, okay, whenever I'm writing some template text, then the template text will be kept under write method, right? But whenever I'm
Mm.
writing the scriptlet is just like a copied inside a service method, that's it. It wasn't even touched it. Okay, it wasn't
Mm.
even touched it. So the reason behind why they made it as like that scriptlet, okay, consider as a case you're writing some, I mean you're dealing with the JSPs only, you're not dealing with a um, servlets. Okay, from JSP I want to write some piece of Java code. Okay, I want to write some piece of Java code inside the service method. Okay, if that is the case, then I have to use scriptlet. Okay, whenever I'm writing whatever the text I'm writing inside the scriptlet, it will be just copy and paste it inside a service method, that's it. Okay,
Mm.
in general in future, actually what is the need of the JSPs, instead of like servlets we are using, it reduces the developer's task. Okay, it reduces the burden on a developer to develop each and every piece of code. Okay, every time you need to write one Java file, and that should be extend one servlet, and then inside of it you need to write the methods like init, service, destroy, get servlet, config, get servlet info methods, and inside the service method you need to provide the implementation, get the objects, print, get the print writer, print something. See, many things are there to do in general if you're dealing with the servlets. Okay, so in order to reduce this task, they introduced the JSPs. Okay, and they given some set of rules how to behave with a JSP. Okay, so accordingly JSP can convert into a servlet inside. Okay, for example, if you want to write some print writer, I mean if you want to write some text to a UI, okay, then they said like please use template text, write it blindly. Okay, whatever the text that you have, write it blindly. Okay, I will just copy and paste it inside out.write method so that it will be viewed in a browser. And I said like I have some piece of code to for processing a Java piece of code I required. Then they said like okay, then use the scriptlet. Okay, inside the scriptlet, whatever the Java piece of code you're writing, just it will be just copy pasted inside a service method.
Hi, Mani.
Yeah, Vijay.
Yeah, but in real time, we don't use servlets, we use JSPs.
No, we will use both depending upon the requirement. Okay, servlets actually uh, how to say, yeah, in general frameworks are there. Okay, in the frameworks the design patterns will be available, MVC design pattern 1 and 2. Okay, and there will be presentation layers, something, some okay, okay, presentation layer, business layer, DO layers, and database layers, many things are there. Okay, in general servlets acts as a controllers. Okay, Controller is nothing but whenever any request comes, it is going to listen the request and it is understand what is the task. Accordingly, it is going to dispatch that request to a perfect person, whoever it is. I mean, whoever Java object, it is going to do the task. It is going to dispatch that request. Okay, so in real time, servlets acts as a controllers. Okay, and JSP acts as a presentation layer. Means whatever the thing that you want to publish in a UI, okay, user interface, nothing but a browser. In those cases, we are going to use the JSPs.
Okay.
I think it is more than uh, I mean it okay, it's like, you know, you will get to know once this I mean advanced Java is done. By the end, you can get to know what is the use of JSPs and servlets. Okay,
Okay.
these kinds of concepts will come in frameworks. Okay, Struts framework or Spring framework. Whenever you're going to start there they're going to discuss about the design patterns, like, you know, MVC design pattern 1 and 2, how these JSPs and acts role in real time, and how the servlets acts a role in real time.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so just for time being, whatever I'm saying, just try to understand. That's it. Okay, it's more than good enough for you guys. Okay, after that we'll
Okay.
start. What is the main use in real time? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, now, so we come across the two tags. One is the template text, another one is a scriptlet. Okay, you have any doubts till now? Okay, don't worry, I am just giving some examples of here. Okay, and in the coming classes I'm going to build on top of this. Okay,
Okay.
build the things
Okay.
on top
Yeah.
of this, and I will help you to understand, like, you know, how it behaved and how it is like. Okay,
Okay.
and next.
Yep.
Okay, before going to the next concept, that is the JSP declarations. Okay, before going to the JSP declarations and or directives or whatever, I will discuss a small concept called implicit variables. Okay, implicit variables. So, what is these implicit variables? And I mean, how many are there? Totally 9 implicit variables are present. Okay, so what are these implicit variables? Actually, to speak, without your knowledge, okay, without your knowledge, container is going to create these 9 objects. Okay, container is going to create 9 objects and give it to the servlet, nothing but indirectly JSP. Okay, it is going to give to the, for example, this is a servlet. Okay, for example, this is a servlet, one underscore JSP.java is a servlet, right? Okay, consider there is a container is going to give those 9 objects to the this servlet, and servlet is going to give those 9 objects to a JSP. Nothing but if it is having servlet means indirectly it is a JSP only. Okay, so what are those 9 implicit objects? Okay, what is the use of them? Okay, see here, request, response, page context, session, application, config, out, and others are exception. Okay, so these are called as the implicit objects. Session. Okay, these are also these are all these called as the implicit objects. Okay, who gives generally these implicit objects? Container is going to give it to the servlet, and servlet is going to give it to the JSP. Okay, here the servlet is nothing but a JSP only, right? We are converting this. Okay, container is going to give it to this, and so if those are available at here, then I can able to access easily in a JSP file, right? So the implicit variables, what are the implicit variables? Request, response, config, context, page, page context, exception, session, we're missing one, which one it is? Out. Okay, so how many? 1 2 3 4 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, these are the total 9 implicit variables. I mean, by default, these variables are been available to you. Okay, just your duty is use them. That's it. Okay, just your duty is use them. That's it. Okay, ready-made. All these objects are ready-made to be available for you. Okay, container has given to you. To whom? To JSP. Okay, for this JSP, all these 9 kinds of different kinds of an objects been available. So just my duty is just I need to access them. That's it. Request, we know how it comes from the service method. As an argument, request and response will come, right? And then config is nothing but servlet config. Yesterday we discussed about this. What is a servlet config? What is the scope? Servlet's config scope is up to particular servlet only, right? And then context, this is also called as servlet context. So the scope of this one is global level. Okay, whenever you're trying to access any values of a global level object, then we can use context object. Okay, page is nothing but a object indirectly. Okay, we'll discuss more about in coming classes. And page context is kind of a different one. Okay, and then exception. Okay, whenever you're trying to write some piece of code with an exception, then that time we're going to use this exception object. Okay. Then session, see, this is the one which creates the bind between server and client system. Okay, from the browser when I'm trying to log in. Okay, after that server has to remember my session. Okay, so here session acts a vital role. Okay, next out is nothing but just to print the messages. Okay, we have seen it here, right? See, out dot write, inside the write method I have written some template text. So out is the one which will be used only to print some messages. Okay, it is just like a print writer method. Okay, out is okay. These are the total 9 implicit variables. Okay, uh, maybe in some interviews maybe they're going to ask, okay, what are the 9 implicit variables available in a JSP? Okay, these are not been available in a servlet. Okay, in general, if you create a servlet, these objects may not be get created implicitly, only for JSPs only. Okay, whenever you're dealing with the JSPs, all these 9 objects already been available with you. Okay, just your duty is use these objects. Okay, okay, don't worry, in the coming classes I will use these 9 objects and build some small application so that you can get to know what is the use of each object. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, I will stop at here. Any doubts?
No, till now.